In recent years, guaranteed basic income has been discussed at great lengths to see if it can alleviate poverty and create a standard of living in our society. This is because our current welfare programs have failed to provide adequate support for individuals and households to keep them financially afloat. Citizens that need and use Social Security are still living in poverty and are unable to meet their basic needs to maintain a standard of living, proving that the current welfare programs are unable to provide a safety net for citizens in times of need. With the current ineffectiveness and inadequacies with welfare programs, researchers have begun to see if there are solutions to these ongoing challenges. This is the breakdown of guaranteed basic income. What is it? And the case for and against it by the Insufficient Summary, a channel where we explore different ideas in our social world. To address the limitations of current welfare programs, researchers have looked into an idea called universal basic income. Universal basic income is an unconditional regular cash payment to all citizens. The purpose of this regular payment is that everyone gets enough money so that they are above the poverty line, allowing them to purchase the necessities, which creates a standard of living. However, as you can probably assume, the cost of this program will be extremely high since it is paying the entire population a certain amount of money regularly. Acknowledging the cost it would take to start and continue running this program, a refined structure of it was created, which is guaranteed basic income. The difference between these two programs is that with guaranteed basic income, only individuals who are below the poverty line would get regular cash payments. By omitting individuals and households who may not need the financial support, it significantly lowers the costs. Guaranteed basic income is an unconditional, no strings attached payment for everyone living under the poverty line. Thus, it acts as a poverty protection mechanism where nobody falls through the cracks, unlike current welfare programs. Simply put, it is given to everyone who earns under the poverty line that was set. By including everyone such as the working poor, students who are studying full-time and are unable to work to financially support themselves, or someone who is going through a health issue and is unable to work, the whole population has a minimum income earned in a given year to secure a standard of living. To add on, the basis for the cash transfer is so individuals can make the choice of using the given money for their specific needs, whatever they could be. The belief of guaranteed basic income is that individuals will make the most of the stipend for their situation and not be confined to having to meet different criterions, as current social assistance programs require participants in order to continue having support. The greatest benefit researchers see in guaranteed basic income is that it offers a desirable solution to a range of social and economic problems that we face in society today. As research has told us before, financial instability negatively affects all aspects of life, including relationships and health. Commonly, those facing financial instability often have worse mental and physical health, which causes strains in their relationships. By providing an income that ensures basic needs are met, chronic stress and anxiety about their financial well-being would be reduced, and so would unhealthy coping methods. Relationships would improve, as those with stress and anxiety are often more irritable and angry. Simply put, by providing everyone an economic opportunity for a sustainable, healthy life, it could benefit other aspects of everyone's livelihood as well. To add on, although the cost of integrating this program in the beginning will be expensive, it could address the concerns for the growing cost of healthcare, which will only get more expensive as our population ages. The return on initial investment by implementing guaranteed basic income could lead to much more savings for the healthcare system in the long run, since it can address health issues preemptively. The reallocation of government dollars from healthcare to social welfare could result in lower spending altogether, as studies have shown. However, critics of the program argue that the cost of guaranteed basic income cannot be recouped by healthcare savings. Not only that, but the upfront costs are going to be so high that in order to start the program it requires the restructuring of the current tax system. This is because the cost to integrate and continue funding guaranteed basic income would cost billions of dollars yearly, and current tax income for the government cannot handle the high cost. If taxes cannot be increased enough to fund the program, another way for the government to generate more income is to print more money. However, with already a high level of government debt and persistent inflation, printing more money would arguably do more harm than good. This is because printing more money causes more inflation, making goods and services more expensive, increasing the cost of living. All of which causes a feedback loop of incomes unable to support a standard of living, then needing support to address the gap, and the government needing to print more money since more people are using the program. Therefore, it would not improve the financial stability of citizens. As a result, some researchers and politicians argue that it is not a reliable or practical way to alleviate poverty. Instead, critics argue that improving targeted programs is a more viable option to obtain a standard of living and improve quality of life for everyone in society. Another criticism of guaranteed basic income is if it was implemented into society, the motivation to work or find work will erode. Research from pilot programs suggests that those receiving support have not been cradled to the grave but simply offers security for low-income individuals and households, reducing inequalities that is present in our society today. However, some pundits disagree with that sentiment and sees research results with increased education, reduction in part-time job hours, or gig work as an indication of individuals receiving support and not working as hard to financially provide for themselves, instead relying on guaranteed income to make ends meet. This would result in a drop in participation rates in the labor markets, causing less tax revenue for the government, leading to an even bigger financial burden on the state to fund this program. Although researchers argue that guaranteed basic income is never about suffocating the masses with security but rather, it is a safety net to allow citizens to recover from hardship and return to work, there are continual disagreement on the measures and analysis of the data. Another prominent critique of the program is the research methods used in guaranteed basic income studies. Mainly, critics argue that the research environment is not properly set, which skews the results of guaranteed basic income if implemented into society. This is because societal factors always influence outcomes and experiences of participants, and those conditions cannot be analyzed if the participants are not in a saturated environment. The saturation environment is an extremely important aspect of the data collection process because giving a guaranteed income to a randomized and dispersed group of people, the research assumes that all decisions were made in an isolated setting and not influenced by broader societal factors. As a result, the social context in the research would not be accounted for, thus, skewing results as social interaction affects how humans react and make decisions. As David Calnitsky in The Basic Income and Pitfalls of Randomization argues, there are social realities that make randomized experiments inaccurate. Calnitsky argues that participants' actions could be influenced by role modeling, which is an individual that is following others in a similar position as themselves. An example of this would be, if you see or hear other people working reduced hours or going back to school after receiving guaranteed basic income, you might do the same. Another social reality is new social norms. If everyone in a guaranteed basic income program was reducing work hours, it could be less of a stigma, thus, influencing the number of hours other people work. The change would cause a feedback loop influencing everyone around them, causing a change in labor market behavior. Therefore, the social world is important to analyze, and by ignoring the realities of the world creates inaccuracy in the data. Unfortunately, only one study of guaranteed basic income was conducted in a saturation environment where almost everyone in the population was involved in the program. That was the Mincome study, which was conducted from 1974 to 1979 in a small town in Dauphin, Manitoba, Canada. The field research limited exposure to others outside of the town to fully capture the effects of basic income. Regretfully, the Mincome experiment ended abruptly when the newly elected government took over office and cancelled the program. The results were not analyzed at the time as researchers did not do follow-up interviews or conduct surveys with participants. Paper files of questionnaires were unclear. Experiences of the participants or interpretations of the results by researchers, causing major controversy in the effects of guaranteed basic income in the saturation environment. As such, the research project does not provide adequate data and analysis to fully understand the effects of basic income. Consequentially, researchers do not have concrete evidence to what might happen in a society that implements a basic income. Understanding all aspects is essential for the implementation, policy creation, and possible indirect effects of guaranteed basic income. Without collecting this data in current research and analyzing it, the benefits and consequences directly or indirectly caused by guaranteed basic income is unknown. If you found this video informative, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.